is the Minnehaha Creek, and it comes from Lake Minnetonka all the way coming west, all the way down here to Minnehaha Falls, and then it dumps out right into the Mississippi. And then from the Mississippi, it goes all the way down in the Gulf of Mexico. There's a what do you call it? A parkway just right up here we're going to take you to, and it's a really good bike path. It's absolutely beautiful with beautiful homes. Speaking of biking, the Minneapolis park system, they have a 55-mile parkway all around the whole city, starting from the northwest, going all the way down around the chain of lakes, and then coming over here on the Minnehaha Parkway, going over to the Mississippi, all the way up to St. Anthony Falls, and then back through Minneapolis, downtown, and then back over to where it began.
Okay, we're looking at a bronze statue of Hiawatha and his love, Minnehaha. She was a Dakota Native American, and she passed away. It was a severe winter, and she got sick. So all of this is in Longfellow's epic poem, The Song of Hiawatha. And I think many of us, at least my age, and maybe those that are lovers of poetry, are familiar with this. It's a very, very long poem, 22 parts. It makes a book almost, but I'll read you 6 sentences from it. So, this is it. By the shores of Gitchigumi, by the shining Big Sea water, at the doorway of his wigwam, in the pleasant summer morning, Hiawatha stood and waited. All the air was full of freshness, and all the earth was bright and joyous. And it goes on, and it tells a story of their love story, and of the life of Hiawatha and his tribe of Ojibwe. Ojibwe! I love that word, but I can't say it. Yeah. Ojibwe. Awesome. So.
Part of the Minneapolis park system,
and it's a national historical area.
National historic site.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, cool. The central feature of the park, Minnehaha Falls, right behind us, was a favorite subject of pioneer photographers, beginning with Alexander Hessler's, how do you say that, daguerreotype?
I can't see it.
In 1852. Although he never visited the park, Henry Wadsworth Longfellow, and Mom researched about him, so she can talk more about that, helped to spread the waterfall's fame when he wrote his celebrated poem, The Song of Hiawatha.
And actually, it was well known throughout the world. And a lot of the tourists came from all around the world to see these falls.
More than 850,000 people visit Minnehaha Falls each year, and it continues to be the most photographed spot in all of Minnesota. And it's pretty cool because right now it's early in the morning and hardly anybody's here, and right where we're standing right here, you would have to wait in line all summer long if it's not early in the morning, and to get a spot to take a picture, because it's just so incredibly busy. So we're just really having a good time here early in the morning.
It used to be twice the width, but erosion has brought it down. I believe they're about 52 feet high, and the rushing water goes down to about another 3/4 of a mile through this beautiful glen amongst the cliffs on the side.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and as part of the park system, there's trails down there, and you can walk. I hark, she said. I hear a rushing, hear a roaring, and a rushing. Hear the falls of Minnehaha calling to me from a distance.
100 or so years ago, some young men came up, and they were young, and explored and went back, and brochures were written about these beautiful falls.
What were?
Brochures, yeah. Written about tourist brochures, written about the falls, the sparkling water coming over and the gleaming rushing water going down the glen. Well, many started to come, and they would take the steamboat from St. Louis up to St. Paul, disembark. They would visit St. Anthony, they would go to Fort Snelling, they would go to Lake Harriet, they would go to Lake Calhoun, and then end up here. Written about how beautiful it was, and it was a destination to go to.
So you were talking, did you say when? 100 years ago?
Oh,
or
100
150
or more.
years ago, like in the middle 1800s?
Right. Tell about.
Well, and what I read is that a lot of people, it became popular for the East Coasters to go to St. Louis and take the ride up the Mississippi because it was the closest to the Wild West that they could touch upon was right here in the Minnesota Prairie.
Yeah.
And so that was pretty fascinating to them.
And when it started, mostly men came up, a few women, but one of the women was the wife of Alexander Hamilton. She came with a group to explore and to see the falls herself. So that's kind of interesting also.
Absolutely.
A long history.
Yes. Okay.
It is a Dakota name for purling water or waterfalls.
And we see a whole group of people coming off a bus.
So we're going to run
We're gonna have some competition here for space.
So we're going to run up to Longfellow House.
Yep, we got a lot to see. A lot of people would come out for the day from downtown Minneapolis, from downtown to this depot right here, which is called the Minnehaha Depot. So thankfully there's a plaque here that gives more information, and I guess it was built in the 1870s. And it said throngs of picnickers and sightseers would take the 16-minute ride from Minneapolis to Minnehaha Park. And I guess there was a zoo here too. And in 1963 it closed down, and then it became a little museum.
This is a replica of his house in Cambridge, Massachusetts. And it was built here in memorial or memory of his epic poem of Hiawatha, as an honor to him.
Okay, wait a minute. So he was in Cambridge because he was actually a professor.
I'll go into that.
Okay, fine.
He was a professor at Cambridge University, and he was there, I believe, I don't know, quite a few years, 16 years, but his kids, the students loved him so much. And there's a poem he wrote, Under the Spreading Chestnut Tree. He took this chestnut and they had a furniture maker make him a beautiful chair for it. And that he also wrote a poem about. But then Harvard called, and he went, and he was a professor at Harvard for a while too. But he wrote books and he wrote poems.
So in our research, which we actually did for this vlog, which is why we kind of sound maybe like we know a little bit more of what we're talking about, I read that Longfellow was actually so popular as a poet or as a writer back in the day, in the mid-1800s, he almost had rock star status. Like he was really world known, really popular.
Yes, and you can see why. If you read some of his pieces, the book of his collected poems, they're just wonderful. The meter is beautiful, they're fun to read, and they're very interesting. So I would just really suggest that you get introduced to this wonderful American poet.
Absolutely. I just want to reiterate how nice people are in Minnesota, because there wasn't even a crosswalk over there, and we had to cross the street from the Longfellow to go where we're going.
Or a stop sign.
There's no stop sign, no crosswalk, and everyone just stopped.
But there is this.
Yeah, she's got her cane. They could have run you over though,
They could have, but thank goodness they didn't, because there'd be no more, well, there might be more vlogs.
No, without her, nah. Yeah.
Okay.
So here we are in front of Salt Eatery. It's one of the best restaurants if you want my opinion.
Yeah, it's a good one.
It's really good seafood.
Yeah.
It's really good
they
seafood.
They have hamburgers and that type of thing too, don't they?
Not really.
Just seafood then.
Yeah, it's like calamari tacos, clams on the half shells. Is that what they call them?
Those are oysters. Those are oysters.
Oysters on the
half shell.
And it opens in April and it closes probably around October, late October, and the line is just super long on the weekend. On their website, it said if you're in a long line, do two things. Are you ready?
Patient.
Two ways that you can show your patience. You can, number one, enjoy the park. Just sit in, if you're in line for 45 minutes to an hour, enjoy the park. And then it also said you're supposed to concentrate on the people that you're in line with. Yeah.
Talk to the ones ahead of you, talk to the ones behind you.
Which is usually what happens.
This is a well-used facility, this whole area. It's used for weddings, there's playgrounds, picnic areas.
And the
Band
pavilion back
concerts?
there is the spot of many concerts.
Yes.
Yeah, all summer long. And one time we came here and there was a bluegrass festival with super talented people.
Ooh,
Bands
I'd like to do
and
that.
yeah, so I think that wraps it up for here. This is an absolute beautiful place to hang out. Just like all the people did in the 1800s. People are still coming here to enjoy the beautiful facilities. And what I thought was really cool too is that a lot of people who have cabins, they go up north because again, we've got so many lakes in the state up there. But here on the weekends, this is kind of like a lot of people who can't afford cabins. This is their playground. You'll see a lot of big families here of all ethnicities. They bring grills and they just have a whole day of fun. We are at the Minneapolis Lock and Dam number 1, and it's literally right down the bluffs from Minnehaha Park, which is right up there. Lock and Dam number 1, and there's 29 locks all the way between here and the Gulf of Mexico, all the way down the Mississippi. It says this is one of the 29 locks and dams that provides a water stairway of travel for barge tows from Minneapolis to the Gulf of Mexico. Each year, more than 2 million tons of cargo pass through the lock. Each year, more than 6,000 recreational craft utilize the lock. And also up the river is the St. Anthony Lock, and we will show you that another time when we're up in that area doing some cool things. Anyway, and you can't see it, but there's a falls right back here, and then the lock has a visitor center. And if you're interested in that, it's very informative. It's very interesting.